Hello everyone and welcome back. XLNC Light League Day 1, game number 3 between Degenerates and Lotus Black. Degenerates a little salty about that last game, Axeman, but they're going to be looking to potentially get some of that salt back over to Lotus with a victory here in game number 3. Let's see if their draft is going to be a little bit better than last one, Axeman, because man, that last draft did not work out in their favor.
Yeah, it really didn't. Their moves. And what's up, guys? Axeman, and we're already into this first ban stage of game 3, and that Mordekaiser are going to be taken off the table almost instantly, and you could definitely tell why. Kamitako was a bit of a monster. He got into kind of raid boss territory there towards the end of game 2 and had a similar performance on Shen in game 1 as well. So this is a very strong player for Lotus Black, and you got to target ban the guy as much as possible. They've left up Diana so far, so that might be going back over to Lotus Black, but we'll see what they do with their final ban.
Yeah, Jhin gonna be taken out, so I mean, pretty much the consistent bans coming in from Lotus Black, the Graves, the Jhin. No Caitlyn ban coming in from either team just yet, but Degenerates does still have one ban to go for. Do they take the Caitlyn away? Do they take the Diana away? And they decide to take the Diana away there. Lotus Black now with their last ban. But speaking of Black, Axeman, how do you take your coffee? With cream, with sugar, straight up? How do you take your coffee, man?
Oh, I take my coffee with cream and sugar as much as I can fit in there. You know, I got to stay awake and wake up in the mornings. Why do you ask here, Mr. Moose?
You know what? I'm glad you asked why I asked. We have a wonderful sponsor here in the Light League, and it is AM Grind. Some delicious, freshly roasted coffee ready to go whenever you guys want, and there's a 10% discount. Just use the promo code XLNC, that is XLNC at checkout, to receive 10% off your order. Man, you know, I just picked up a dairy-free creamer for my coffee. I'm usually just a cream with a little bit of sweetener guy in my coffee. I worked for Dunkin' Donuts for 5 years, and so I've had a lot of experience getting some different combinations of no cream, no sugar, a lot of cream, a lot of sugar, you know, you name it. But with AM Grind in my cup, it's always a delightful drink and always a fun sip for sure. So shout out to AM Grind. Appreciate you guys as always. But with that out of the way, let's go back into the draft. Caitlyn and Morgana going to be picked up here for Lotus Black. Degenerates given over to Morpheus, that Caitlyn pick, which they banned out in the last 2 games. Going to be looking to potentially use that effectively. Leona going to be picked up for Degenerates as well, though, moving into the second stage of this draft.
And we talked about this coming out of game 2 is what Morpheus is really capable of, right? Now that he has this champion that they've been keeping away from him all series long, all of a sudden he might start to pop off here when the last 2 games it's been Kamitako and their jungler kind of carrying them through. They might actually get to see Morpheus have a strong carry game here. We'll have to see as we move forward, but Tom Kench hovered here for the Degenerates. This is a very strong champion. Taking some nerfs the last patch or so, but back in form, I would say, hasn't fallen too far at all, and you like to see TK.
Oh, we love to see TK, and speaking of the animal-ish champions, Lilia, we got the Fawn in the jungle ready to go. Really exciting draft coming in from Degenerates. And so just to keep this in mind for all you viewers out there that might not know, we do have a little bit of a roster change coming through for Degenerates Ascension. 6itch going to be making his appearance in the Light League, his debut here at the jungle. Sweet Sadness is going to be taken off and put on the bench for this one, out to pasture for the day. We're going to see whether or not this Lilia, played by 6itch, is able to perform really well. I'm excited to see what a new jungler is going to bring to the table for Degenerates, but they're going to be facing off against a Trundle. Now, that Trundle can go in the top lane, that can go into the jungle himself. I mean, up against Tom Kench, I think that's a solid pick. Tahm Kench is really strong in those real like micro engages, those real mini trades that you're able to get throughout a top lane phase. But Trundle always wants to be in your face, will take that damage and will be just fine with it. So I think, that's going to be an interesting battle between Hajime and Kamantako that has been, I think, the point of Lotus Black, the tip of the spear, as it were, in these last 2 games. And so I'm excited to see what Lotus Black is going to bring to the table in the top lane. If it is that Trundle going into the bans, Degenerates still worried that it is going to be Kamantako in a Shen role, going to ban that one out. Syndra going to be taken away from Lotus Black.
Certainly will there, Moose. Last couple of bans coming through for either side. Eager to see what those are. But these next couple of picks are going to be important for both sides. Lotus Black getting that red side last pick, hopefully putting that on their solo lanes. I think that Trundle's probably going top into that Tahm Kench. That would make the most sense to me. But, also a capable jungler, like you had mentioned, a capable support as well. I'm not sure if Lotus Black play any Morgana mid, but it's pretty good. It has been pretty good in the past, so we might see that come out as well. Last ban coming through now for the Degenerates. Looking like going to be Kale, trying to target ban away those mid lane champions. And, of course, the Kale was picked by Lotus Black there in game 1. Is very strong there for him.
And going to be taking away a lot of late game, a lot of AP threats available. Kamantako going to get targeted with that Shen. Maybe going to be targeted with that Kale, but I think that's more towards Stonemade Soft. He played really well with the champion in game 1, was banned out in game 2 and in game 3. But most importantly, coming in for Lotus Black, they denied Bixis the 3-peat on the Severe. He's going to have to play a different champion here today as we get the Lee Sin chosen. That is almost going to guarantee that Trundle will be in the top lane. Lee Sin will be in the jungle. I think that is going to be a really good matchup there for Kamantako. Tahm Kench, I think, is going to have a tough time being able to stay stable in the early game there. Degenerates with the last 2 picks for themselves. Misfortune going to get picked up by Bixis coming in with that Misfortune. And now we're going to see what the mid laner is going to be for Heartstruck. We've seen him play a couple of different champions across the board. LeBlanc last game. What does he choose today? 13 seconds left. Has a lot of opportunity, a lot of chances, a lot of different champions that he can maybe choose. And they're really taking their time with this choice. It's the
they really
Lucian.
are here.
Ooh, double marksman comp.
Wow. Yeah, double marksman comp here. They took that Leona away from Adorable there too. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult there for them to force them back on the Morgana pick there. But I believe that's the first time Adorable has had to play a different champion than Leona is so far in this series. So not sure how the Morgana is going to look, but also not sure how Smart Pants' Lee Sin is going to look. I mean, he's a gold player, right? Lee Sin's a difficult champion. You got to execute some pretty tough combos on Lee Sin, some pretty rough mobility there on this champion to have any kind of success. And once again, it's a gold player. We'll see what he can do with it. But Victor going to be locked in that last pick for the mid lane for Lotus Black.
Oh, I love this pickup coming in for Lotus Black. You get the gravity field on top of the pillar of ice, and you just immobilize somebody. Morgana comes in with Chains of Corruption, and it's just a field day of damage for this Caitlyn. I love this pickup coming in from Victor. It's going to be, I think, extremely stable in this lane against Lucian, unless the Lucian's able to get away from the gravity field with his Relentless Pursuit. He was able to use the culling effectively to be able to get that early damage in before the Victor could really start to take off. But there's a lot of mid-game power coming in for both of these teams. Lucian, Misfortune, Lilia coming in once they get a couple of items going. Once Misfortune's able to build up, bullet time can be extremely potent if they're able to find a good sleepy time coming in from Lilia. If he's able to get that really good ultimate off, we'll see if they are able to make that happen though. But shout out, I think, a really smart pick coming in from Lotus Black. Adorable picking up that Morgana, which is most likely going to be the bottom or the support pick here. I don't foresee a Victor or a Trundle being support in this lineup. But you know, with this Morgana not only being able to get the Black Shield, which could deny a Solar Flare, could deny a Zenith Blade, or not a Zenith Blade, could deny a stun from the Leona, could deny the Drowsy coming in from the Lilia from his ultimate. It's going to be adorable, I think, really having to play a really strong game here in the support role. He played really well in the first 2 games, and now he's going to be looking to go for a 3-peat and play really well in Game 3.
Looking forward to it, and we just got into the actual champ select here, so we're going to get through that real quick here for you. I don't think there's any surprises in store for us, Moose. I think everything should be lined up about where we expected with the Lucian mid, the Trundle top, Lee Sin jungle, all that good stuff. So we won't speculate too much about that, but one thing I did want to bring up is just the early game power around the bot side. The Degenerates have drafted here for themselves. That MF Lucian, that's a great combo. Normally you're trying to roll this into dragon objectives, right? And that's been something Degenerates have been pretty good at so far. They've racked up a couple in this series, and it's something they could certainly look for.
Yeah, I know you hit the nail right on the head. I mean, their early game dragon control has been really good. Vixis has really taken control of that bottom lane and has really denied, I think, Morpheus the opportunity to really, you know, pop off in the early game in these in these games so far for Lotus Black. It's been all about Kamataco. It's been all about Smart Pans being able to perform really well in the top lane and in the jungle. Now with a new jungler in the mix for Degenerates and some different champions, a little bit more heavy engaged coming in from Degenerates, it's going to have to be Vixis, I think, really performing well on this Misfortune. If we get Burn in Hell being able to get that really good Zenith Blade, that level 2 Leona, you know, it's a meme at this point, but it's so strong in these matchups. And I think, you know, it's going to be boiling down to whether or not those Zenith Blades are going to be able to land. What is the Black Shield going to do for this Morgana on Adorable? Will he be able to keep Morpheus alive? There's not a lot of mobility there on that Caitlyn except for the net. And so it's all going to boil down to, I think, you know, how those early game trades play out for this bottom lane. Comp-wise, I mean, whenever you get double marksman, you're always scared. You can shred a lot of these neutral objectives. If they're able to get ahead in the early game, bullet time can just do a lot of damage. And if you're able to get, you know, several members of Lotus Black Drowsy with the Lilia ultimate, get them all lined up for a beautiful bullet time, a beautiful culling, it could just shred anyone to pieces, because you don't really have a lot of frontline here for Lotus Black. Just the Trundle. Lee Sin's going to build Bruisery. And if those go down, I mean, there's not a lot of escape routes that the Victor, that the Caitlyn are going to be able to have. So all going to boil down to, I think, how well does Degenerates play in the early game? Do they get those early objectives? Do they falter and give Lotus Black the lead? If they do, it's going to be a real tough time for them.
Moose, you mentioned Kamataco, and I want to bring him up one more time before we get into Game 3 here, because he's been so influential in the last 2 games. It's 2 words I would use to describe this guy, and those are raid boss, right? The guy's been massive in Game 1 and Game 2, not only in the damage, the numbers, the gold, but also just physically too, right? He had that Frostfire Gauntlet there in Game 1 on Shen, was getting like an 11-foot tall Shen up there. Of course, Mordekaiser as well, and this Trundle's coming through now. And I'm worried he's going to have a similar performance here in this game. It's a great matchup in the Tom Kench. It's a champion that is exactly in line with his playstyle so far. And you said they might have a lack of a front line. Their front line might be the biggest thing on the map going into this Game 3.
You think so? I don't know. I
mean maybe.
I mean, with the way that Kamataco has been playing, I think he might just be the front line. I mean, the allure of Kamataco is the front line at that point. I think you know, that's a fair statement. And he can potentially, once he does get his ultimate, he'll be able to steal those stats away from the TK or from the Leona and can be incredibly tanky. But if he's not able to get to that point, if for whatever reason this Lilia jungle 6 is able to perform really well against Taco and denies him that early game pressure, he might not be that same powerhouse that we expect to see. And this could be the opportunity for Morpheus, for Stone Made Soft, to really be the major players here for this team. And with the draft being played out the way that it is, I feel like that is going to have to be their win condition. Caitlyn and Victor, once they get into the mid game, once they get a couple of items, are extremely strong. It doesn't matter how much marksman you have with the Lucian and the Misfortune. If that ace in the hole hits onto either one of them, I mean, that's going to chunk at least half of their health once you get into the 20-25 minute mark. And so if they're able to get to that point and stay stable, I think that they've got a really good chance of being able to win this game. But, you know, this is not a troll draft coming in from Degenerates. There's a troll pick in the Trundle. But other than that, I mean, this is a really strong draft, I think, coming in from both teams. I'm excited to see what Degenerates is going to be able to do with it. Lotus Black is going to have their work cut out for him. Do they make it a 3-0 sweep against Degenerates, or does Lotus Black fall short? We're going to find out in just a moment. All right, everyone, this is it. Game number 3 between Degenerates Ascension and Lotus Black. 2-0 set score right now for Lotus in this one. Light League here, game number 3 in day 1 of the tournament. It has been a blast to be able to cast for you so far, Axeman. And we've got one final game, one final opportunity to see these two play out here today. And I am excited to see who's going to take this one.
Oh, yeah, Moose. I mean, will Degenerates find their way back in this series and take a game back and maybe take back some dignity as well? Or will they go down 0-3 here to Lotus Black? Gosh, I just don't know. The draft so far, just out of draft and from this level 1, it could really go either way, I think. But remember, we talked about in draft that the player to look for is Common Taco and their laning phase. They've been so dominant the last few games that you want to make sure you keep your eyes up on the top lane.
Always, you do not want to let Common Taco do his thing and just let him dominate. He has dominated against Hajime. I shouldn't say that. Hajime has done decently. You know, playing as the Ornn in that last game, not the best, but I mean, he didn't play too badly until we got into the mid game and we had that blunder at the Rift Herald. The first game with the Poppy up against the Shen was pretty good as well. It's all going to boil down to, you know, this game. Common Taco playing not necessarily as the traditional hyper carry or a player that could potentially carry, not the Mordecai today, going to be playing as the Trundle. Could potentially perform still really well against the TK. I mean, that's a favorable matchup for him yet again. But, you know, not going to be there just yet. We're not going to know until we actually get into the thick of things. And I'm looking towards, well, Common Taco is going to be, you know, always going to be a talking point for Lotus Black. I'm looking for Morpheus and Adorable to have a standout game here today. I want them to be able to perform exceptionally well against Vixis and Burn in Hell. If they're able to make it happen, I think that that'd be a really good sign for them moving forward.
That's not a good sign. You don't want to die to the jungle camps if you want a prayer at playing competitive League of Legends here, Moose. That's real bad. Also, that was the first camp. This is still level 1 Lilia, and they're now down 3 camps to Smart Pants. It's about to be 4 here. Actually, Smart Pants might just walk over and look for this gank here. Not sure what's going on with Sixes on Lilia.
Yeah, that's a big error there. And I mean, that's not what you, like you said, that's not what you want to do. He used the smite, and now, you know, Smart Pants is on the way. First blood could potentially be there. Smart Pants has the smite. Six is literally going to be backed off of this against a level 3 Lee Sin. That is so disastrous. That's, I mean, I don't have words. I don't have words. That's rough. For lack of a better saying, here in the Light League. I mean, Six is coming in, trying to be able to fill that spot. Unfortunately, I mean, playing a difficult champion in the Lilia, I'm no longer confident in his ability at this point to be able to be, you know, a high tier Lilia player, losing out on that execution. We'll see how that plays out for him, as it does look like we might be seeing something from Smart Pants in the mid lane. Nope. Looks like Hardstuck going to be able to get out of that one just fine. But now going to potentially try to go for something here. Not going to get hit by that one. Wow. A lot of damage coming in from Hardstruck, but nothing too crazy. As it does look like Sixich will get a little bit of a reprieve and will pick up some jungle camps. Not going to go for the red buff and instead goes for his wolves.
Yeah, for those who are confused, I'm not sure why Lily would start blue buff anyway with no leash. You just start Raptors. It's an easy camp to clear. You could do it. I don't even know how else to put it. You just start Raptors. You take them almost instantly, and it's the easiest start. That's if you're not getting a leash, but you need to get one. I mean, it just increases your clear speed so much. I don't know why you wouldn't.
Yeah, and so, I mean, that's going to be double scuttle here for Smart Pants. Relentless Pursuit,
Yikes.
Heartstick Brother trying to be able to get away as the Lilia, avoiding the D-leash there, will be able to pick up the Grom. Got some high-level PvE action coming in from this Lilia, being able to come in for 6-ish. Smart Pants maybe looking to go for a gank and a kill onto this one who backs in front of a ward and will end up most likely going down. It's gonna be kill secured. Stone Made Soft coming in with the teleport, picks up the kill against 6-ish. First blood going towards this mid laner.
No, Zenith played forward. Actually gonna hit Morpheus. Morpheus actually takes a lot of damage there. It's a nice little double up.
That's a really, I mean, that's what we need to see coming in from Bixis and Burn in Hell. They need to dominate in this bottom lane. I don't know what help they're gonna get from 6-ish. There's always a chance for them to be able to get a good gank, especially once level 6 happens. But for now, at least going to be keeping the game even. First back coming in from Bixis, going to be able to pick up the double longswords and the boots. But no back coming in from Morpheus, has the cleanse and the flash build this time to be able to deny any potential chain CC coming in from Burn in Hell in the early game. Always love the choice. You were talking about that in game number 1. When you're up against a Leona, it's almost a requirement to pick up the cleanse. And it's just going to be help to be able to get away from 6-ish's Drowsy once he does get that ultimate. Lilting Lullaby could potentially, get that Drowsy in to deny that damage. But before we go any further, potential gank coming in from Smartpants 77.
Oh, no.
As we get the flash and the teleport coming in from Common Taco. All the damage as the heal comes through will not be enough. Burn in Hell will die to Smartpants 77 with the 4-man gank. As we get the teleport coming in from Hajime as well, the culling is going to be there. And the knockup doesn't even come through. Woo. Wow, that culling going to get completely tanked by the level 5 Common Taco. The teleport does absolutely nothing for Hajime.
Yeah, you burn the teleport there. You burn the Lucian ult there too. That's a lot of resources to use on this play just to get nothing for it. They're going to rotate up onto this dragon here and take that consolation prize. An early Cloud Dragon helping them out and helping get that cull back off of the cooldown. But I think it is nice. We saw that Degenerates usually control the first few dragons so far in this series, and it's good to see them continue to work on that objective. And they drafted this Lucian MF comp to try and get some early pressure on the bottom side. They end up losing that pressure off of a really nice TP play, a really nice gank from Lotus Black, but they still get the dragon, so at least there's that consolation there.
Yeah, I was watching some of the LCS playoffs this week or last week, and talking a little bit or listening to a little bit what Freak was saying about dragons and their value. He equated it to a little bit more than a kill. He was like, it's about 400 to 500 gold in stats that you get off the dragon. So with Degenerates, with that math being, I guess, the idea here, Lotus Black does end up coming out with a little bit of a loss in terms of gold wise, in terms of that stats for the dragon, but still being able to get that kill on it to Common or onto Smart Pants is always good for the Lee Sin. The Iron Spike Whip and the Kindle Gem are all ready to go for him, and he has a big CS lead against 6-ish on the Lilia, 28 to 48 in favor of the Lee Sin as the pushing continues to come forward in the bottom lane. No Q stun coming in from Adorable. Nothing too crazy there. Level 6 is now online for Bixis. See what he gets to go with that once bullet time becomes the option. But yeah, right now, I mean, it is a 1.7 or 1.4k gold advantage for Lotus Black. That's a really strong lead at 8.5 minutes in. What do they get out of that, though? Do they decide to go for the Rift Herald, as it looks like that might be the play coming in from Smart Pants?
And this is exactly how this matchup should be going with the state 6 is in right now. Degenerates have no business getting that first dragon, by the way, with the state this Lily is in. That just no shot. So they get pretty lucky that the rest of Lotus Black were on the reset there for that play. Otherwise, they don't have a prayer getting that objective. They pick up this Rift Herald super easily. Smart Pants picks it up, no contest from the Degenerates. They just don't have any map pressure anywhere on the map right now, really. So it's a rough situation for them. Hajime has a nice little CS lead over Kamatako, who has been walking all over the place, everywhere but top lane. But I don't know if that really makes up for what Kamatako has been doing the rest of the map.
Yeah, I mean, it's only a 200 gold lead right now for Hajime. I mean, it's not that massive lead that 20 CS potentially provides, because they do have those 2 assists for Kamatako, getting that first blood gold and then that extra gold down in the bottom lane with that TP. But, you know, it is still an advantage, a CS advantage for Hajime. It's nice. Kamatako has, you know, fulfilled the role as maybe the weak side lane here. But the Zenith Blade is going to land. Level 6 is online, as we do get to see the bowling ball kind of hit into the gutter. Nice use of that solar flare, and a good use of that cleanse from Morpheus. Going to be able to get that summoner spell taken care of. A nice root going to come in. Double root, but no further damage onto Burn and Hell. He will be able to walk away from that one. So a little bit of a trade here. Summoner spell for ultimate, but at the end of the day, Summoner spell is a little bit longer cooldown than that solar flare.
It really is. And well, they're trying to play the Bush game down bot side here. See what comes of this. Now they're gonna walk off into the jungle.
Off into the sunset, indeed. Maybe looking to go for 6ish, who has yet to reach that 50 CS mark. Actually, with a lot of gold in hand, but a beautiful resonating, or a beautiful Q coming in. Nice resonating strike, and to be able to get the kill on it to not only Hardstuck Brother, but 6ish obliterated as well, who ends up getting the kill onto Stonemaid Soft, making it a 2-for-1 in favor of Lotus Black. That was a beautiful Sonic Wave coming in from Smart Pants. Going to be able to pick up that kill onto Heartstruck. And they're going to drop the Rift Herald as well, with the rotation coming in from Morpheus. Means that he's going to be able to pick up that extra turret plate gold as well.
And the kill still goes down to 6ish too, right? Even with that kill, he's still 1,200 gold down from Smart Pants. So not where you want that kill gold. It's really just trying to stop the bleeding more than anything else. Not really helping your team at that stage. And if you're Hardstuck Brother, you don't even get an assist on that kill. So not great for you. It's really just taking Stonemaid Soft out of lane for a little bit there as your only saving grace. But you expend Lilia ult to do it. So not super good, right? Feels pretty bad. And at this rate, Black Lotus are well on their way to winning this game in you know, similar fashion to the way they won game 1 and game 2 for sure. For certain, the only difference maybe being Kamatako isn't super fed.
Ooh,
Victor,
that's actually really good though. Nice Zenith Blade coming in from Burn and Hell. I mean, that's something there. Hotstuck Brother and Burn and Hell going to be able to find that kill onto Stonemaid Soft. He is now 1-2 and 2. Does have his Luden's Tempest ready to go, along with almost a fully stacked Hero of the Goddess. But with him down for another 14 seconds, it could mean that 6ish and the rest of Degenerates picks up this dragon. A lot of damage coming in. Big Sis gonna be able to get the flat, or be able to get the takeaway from Morpheus, as he does end up using Ace in the Hole. Cooling is gonna come through. A lot of damage, but not enough to get the kill onto Morpheus or onto Adorable. Teleport is gonna come in from Stonemaid Soft, but it is gonna be way too late for them to do much of anything. Sonic Wave potentially for Smart Pants to get a kill on to the Leona. Maybe gonna try to go for that one. Nope. Gonna walk away using the safeguard to get right back into the soft and supple arms of Stonemaid Soft, and the victor will be just fine. Meanwhile, in the top lane though, Kamatako picking up some extra CS, and we'll get it back to a fairly even CS game for this top lane.
So the final dragon map here for you is going to be Mountain. 4 minutes coming up, and that will be pretty powerful. So Degenerates were still able to get that second dragon, and that's huge, right? They are very far behind right now, and they were when they got the dragon too. So being able to still have map control around that objective, even at this stage, is huge for them, right? Because they still have a shot at getting that dragon soul. But I don't know. You give this another 5 minutes, I don't know if they're going to have that same control. Hajime getting taken down by Common. That's a tanky boy, though.
Yeah, it's a big boy, big catfish there. Gonna be just fine. Gonna deny, just gonna have that health regen to be able to survive that top lane. And I mean, for Degenerates, the fact that Hajime has kept even with Kamentako throughout the early game, I think that's a win for him. And, being in the not an unfavorable matchup, I think Tom Kench is just fine against Trundle. It's like a 55-45 in my opinion. It's not too crazy. Kamentako has been doing a lot of roaming, and he's able to stay even in CS, which is a good sign for him. But anytime that you're able to stay even with Kamentako, has been performing exceptionally well. That's going to be good times there. As the Culling comes in onto StoneMade Soft. Oh, the bowling ball does not land, but the Relentless Pursuit is there into the Magnet Storm.
Lucian.
And Vixis will pick up the kill, but StoneMade Soft is going to pop Heartstruck there, making it a 1-for-1.
Jime out with the Abyssal Voyage. Just see him get out of that situation. Kamentako having a much harder time cracking open this catfish than the previous games, but yeah, that's some nice action there in the mid lane. We saw both mid laners go down, and things continue to get better and better for Smart Pants, who is just running the map right now in Lee Sin. So apparently just fine at this champion, despite the difficulty. Morpheus, meanwhile, got the Caitlyn that they've been looking for all series long, and they're going to get first turret. Nice.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's so much gold going over to this Caitlyn. Gonna be walking away with an extra 800 in her pocket, 5,400 gold.
That's not first turret.
Pardon me. Is it first turret?
No,
it's
actually
not
lost first turret.
Yeah, no, you're right. Absolutely. A little bit before that. But actually, like a minute and a half, I completely forgot about that. But we don't even have time to talk about my mistakes. We're going to talk about Rift Herald coming through. Going to get started again as Six is trying to be able to get away from that one. The Lilting Lullaby is going to work, and Stonemade Soft will go down yet again. The Solar Flare is not going to land onto the Morgana. The Morgana is going to be there. The Consume to try to get Burn in Hell out of that one. Will we see Smart Pants be able to get that kill? No, not going to be able to get away from that one. Kamentako going to try to survive, and Hajime picks up the kill onto Kamentako. Smart Pants going to be right at his Krug's going to be just fine, but they give up Rift Herald. Culling going to get used on Morpheus, and it's Heartstruck Brother with the plays against the Caitlyn, picking up an extra kill. So at the end of the day, only Six-ish goes down, but 4 members of Lotus Black die, and this time it's going to be Degenerates picking up the Rift Herald.
Don't call it a comeback, Moose, but things are suddenly looking up for Degenerates Ascension, especially for Heartstruck Brother there with the 4 kills, 2 deaths, 1 assist, doing all right in CS there too. He's got the Gale Force, and he's coming back onto the Rift after this reset, looking real strong. And that gold lead is starting to look pretty slight. It's just around 1,000 now in favor of Black Lotus. So they've closed the gap considerably. And you definitely think that they have the map control to look for this 3rd dragon. They got to get on top of the objective, though.
Oh, yeah, they need this dragon. I mean, that is a huge win condition for them. Heartstruck Brother is going to be extremely strong at this point now, picking up 3 kills in that last fight, and now has double buffs as well. Not as potent as it is, at 15 or 12 or 10 minutes into the game, but it's still going to be there. He is going to get hit by the bind and gets obliterated by that bind. Adorable, making the plays. That dark binding is going to be there. The kick onto the Leona going to go down. It's going to be a double kill for Morpheus, and now we know why we got the ban on that Caitlyn from Morpheus. Adorable will pick up the kill onto Six-ish, making it a 3-for-1. Smart Pants does get shut down, but all because of that big dark binding coming through from Adorable. They're going to be able to stop the dragon advances and will pick up the first Mountain Drake of this game.
It's sorry to see here, Moose. I mean, it's just a complete misunderstanding of their win condition and their playstyle here. Oh, Vixis. Oh, man. That was rough.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
I love it.
Let's go.
That's so good. A beautiful play coming in from Hajime. Going to be able to keep Vixis alive. Uses that flash to go for the repositioning and then gets the knockup with that Abyssal Voyage on Hajime. Really, really good performance there. Going to be able to get another kill onto StoneMade Soft. Arguably having his weakest game of the series so far.
Yeah, really. I mean, the KDA is not great, and he's not making it happen so far. Kind of flashes onto Bixis. It gets that flipped back on its head, but yeah, for the Degenerates, you need to play for that last dragon, and you have dragon coming up in 15 seconds, and your jungler's clearing camp topside. That's not a good understanding of the win condition. It's nice to see Bixis is still able to make the plays and still have some success, but largely that's in part because it's still at this stage of the game. We're still in the early game, right? But as this game continues to go forward, Caitlyn's going to start to take over. Victor's going to start to take over as that late game comes up.
And that's going to be, the big question here is, I was talking about it in the draft. Stonemaid Soft, Morpheus, doesn't matter. A 2-5-3 set or 2-5-3 KDA is not good, but he's at least participating in a lot of these, in some of these engagements. He's 5 out of 9 kill participation, has a stopwatch ready to go, has the fully stacked Tear of the Goddess to be able to get that Seraph's Embrace when he's able to pick up the gold for it. Zonia's Hourglass actually going to get picked up by Morgana for first item, so going to have that available for the Chains of Corruption play. Speaking of mythic items across the Rift, Morpheus has had that Kraken Slayer for a little while, along with Stonemaid Soft picking up that Luden's Tempest. Divine Sundera just getting picked up by Common Taco, along with Gore Drinker coming in from Smart Pants. And all 5 mythic items ready to go for Degenerates. We've got Hajime picking up that Frostfire Gauntlet. Leandri is going to be picked up by Lilia, by Six-ish. And then Gale Force coming in from Heartstuck and Big Sis. Things are not looking too bad for Degenerates at the 20-minute mark. They've got all 5 mythic items. They've got some opportunities to potentially make some plays. But now can they deliver moving into this 21-minute mark?
We'll have to see here as we go forward. Things at a bit of a lull state as both sides are coming to realize they're pretty well evenly matched. Everyone's just kind of looking for a way in. You see Common Taco up top side. Might have to deal with the 2-1 gank. We'll see. Six-ish might move up there here after that blue. I'd like to see that anyway. Common Taco has pushed up way too far.
Oh, absolutely. With only the Divine Sundera, does get a little bit of movement speed with his ice field. What is that called? The Frozen Domain, pardon me. As we do get a play maybe in the mid lane. Great use of the Black Shield coming through from Adorable. Keep Morpheus alive, but Morpheus did pop Cleanse. So popped Cleanse actually there to be able to get away. Didn't need it because of the great Black Shield coming in from Adorable. So if we do find a Great Lilting Lullaby coming in from a Six-ish, they could find something really good here. And that's the play. We saw it played out in that fight at Rift Herald. Get the Lilting Lullaby onto the carries, get them to go to sleep, and then Bullet Time comes through to be able to get that damage. Question is whether or not they're going to be able to land these bowling balls. Six is trying to be able to make that happen in the area. They will give up the turret. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Stonemaid Soft with that teleport and the teleport advantage, going to be in the bottom lane, picking up a lot of CS. Now 19 in the lead against Hardstuck. Be able to push that lane forward. That's something that Degenerates is going to have to handle. Dragon's going to be spawning in a minute. You don't want another misplay like you did in that last one. Granted, Hardstuck did just get hit by that Dark Binding, and then at that point, it was Bad News Bears. Baron is on the table as well. And if you're Degenerates, you're 2 dragons in the lead, but you do give up that dragon number 3 over to Lotus Black. Do you go for the dragon, or do you go for the Baron? Do you go for that extra power play to get those structures?
And you got to go for the dragons, right? It's been your play this whole time. Your time is running out for you. You have to play for every single dragon from here on out, or I'm afraid you're just going to run out of time here on this MF and on this Lucian. They're very strong at present time, so they'll definitely last further into the mid game, which is good for them, but they are just barely looking at falling off right after that last dragon spawn. So, yeah, they definitely need to start getting control of the pit. I don't know why they're second on the map here.
Yeah, and now they're going to be a little bit timid moving into the river spot. They actually used the blast cone. I don't know if that was the correct play there, as the dragon does get leashed a little bit. All 5 members of both teams are now there, and the team fight could potentially be underway at any moment. It's going to be up to Hydra to maybe engage with the Abyssal Voyage. The gravity field already down. A lot of damage already onto Hydra, who already drops it. As we do get the Lilting Lullaby into the Culling, into the Solar Flare. Bullet time has not been used yet, and he does end up going for it. But we end up getting Morpheus getting the kill onto the 6-ish. It will be Bixis coming in with the damage. The Gale Force coming in from the mid laner. Illusion gonna come in. Bixis with a lot of damage. Does he get the kill onto the Victor? No! A beautiful stopwatch as Hajime goes right into the gravity field. It's a double kill at the end of that one for Stone Made Soft, who redeems himself and gets the ace for Lotus Black.
Yeah, it's all about target acquisition, right? And targeting there. They hit a lot of the important targets to get Morpheus down, but unfortunately they leave up Stone Made Soft, and even though it's been a rough game for the Victor, he still has just enough damage to be able to carry his team through. And of course, Kamentako alive as well there on that last play and able to 2v1 Hajime down. But it was a close fight, and I really feel like that was a correct play for the Degenerates, is to go for that dragon. And at this rate, Dragon Soul not really an option for you anymore. You're looking at 10 minutes until that next soul, and at that point you're 35 minutes deep and you already lost the game. So you have to start going, like you said, for that Baron play and just try to end this game out however you can, because you're starting to get outscaled.
Yeah, and that was I think, you know, the real question there is they try to go for this dragon. Had they gotten it, they would have been on Soul Point, and you know, this would have been a much different game. Now, I mean, looking back, maybe the safe play was to go for the Baron and let them have the dragon. You've got two 80s, you've got two marksmen. You're going to be able to melt down Baron fairly quickly. So that might have been, you know, maybe a risky play, but go for it. Wear purple for 3 minutes. Get some of these structures to go down. Get yourself that influx of gold, and then maybe go for those objectives and maybe fight at the next Baron or fight at the dragon to be able to deny Soul Point for Lotus Black. But now, I mean, disaster has struck. It's only a 4,000 gold lead, but your win condition for Dragon is over. I mean, there's no way. I don't think there's any way that this is going to be lasting another 10 minutes. Maybe it does. Maybe we get, you know, some back and forth action and no one really gets a big advantage where inhibitor goes down and we get to that 10-minute point. But you've now given up 2 Mountain Drakes, and that is disastrous when you've got 2 marksmen. That extra armor and magic resistance is going to be huge. And now we're going to get starting to those resistances going to be taken care of here for Lotus Black. Oh my goodness, a lot there.
Yeah, it's a lot of damage.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, here we go.
As we do get Colin coming in, Magnus Storm going to come through, so it's just going to be ultimate for ultimate, but we get some plays in the bottom or in the jungle. The kick into Dragon's Rage for Bixis. Going to try to do what damage he can as the stun goes into Kamentako. Taco going to be fine, though, being able to use that ultimate, but it will be Hajime getting the kill onto Smart Pants and then goes in for the Abyssal Voyage on to Morpheus. Going to try to get the kill maybe on to Morpheus, and 6-ish will get the shutdown. That is 2 kills now for Degenerates against Lotus Black, who initiated that fight in the blue side jungle. And now, with 1 marksman alive, they should be able to get Baron.
Should be able to, yeah. Stone Made South looking to contest alongside Adorable. It should be an easy fight.
Yeah, I mean, you've got Heartstruck on the way. Abyssal Voyage is going to land right onto Adorable, and Adorable will go down after the Golden. Heartstruck brother will be able to pick up that kill, but they de-leash Baron Nashor. And now, Stone Made Soft waiting in the wings. Magnet Storm is just about ready. Bixis is very low on HP. So a good play coming in from Lotus Black. They're going to be able to deny the Baron. Relentless Pursuit is going to come in, and that's going to be the pop right on to Heartstruck brother. And now going to be ended up trying to be able to get the kill. Will be Bixis picking up the kill onto Stone. But it is a 1-for-1, and the Degenerates do not pick up the Baron.
Yeah, they stopped the Baron press, right? And that is exactly what they wanted to do, is prevent that objective from going over, and they succeeded. So that's well played there from Stone Made Soft. And you like to see it. I really like that he ran back into their jungle, kind of trying to bait them away from the Baron, saying, hey, this is a free kill back here. You can come and get this. Keep in mind, he's already had a pretty rough game as far as KDA is concerned. So he trades basically nothing over, but stops their Baron advance.
And that's the big deal there. Had the zone use Hourglass, now has a Seraph's Embrace. That is a 3-item victor. I don't care what game state you're in, a 3-item victor is mean, along with those Sorcerer boots. Speaking of 3 items, we got Kraken Slayer, Infinity Edge, and Lord Dominic's online for Morpheus as well. And so now we are into a very scary spot for Degenerates. Heartstuck Brother and Vixis are now going to have to deal with some resistances on both Smart Pants and Common Taco. They've got a lot of damage coming their way, and it's going to boil down to Hajime and Burn in Hell to be able to keep their marksman alive. This time, though, with 21 seconds remaining at the Dragon, they are ready to go for it. They want to be able to get the Soul Point, and it does look like they will be in the area to make that happen. They don't have a lot of wards, though, so they got to be careful about the potential approach coming in from Stone Made Soft. Looking to go for maybe the flank here, with the Dragon now about to spawn. Do they find this Dragon, or do they give Lotus Black the Soul Point? Hajime looking to be able to do what he can at the front line. No one starting with the Dragon as the bowling balls continue to miss. The Gravity Well is down, and the engage could potentially begin as the tongue lashings come in for Hajime, getting those slows onto Stone Made Soft, who's going to have to pop the Zonias. And a beautiful knockup is going to come in, but unfortunately not going to really get a lot of follow-up there. We get a nice solar flare, but the damage from Morpheus is going to get 1 kill, 2 kills for Smart Pants. Vixis is still alive with that Gale Force there. Hajime is going to try to flash away, and in a blink of an eye, Vixis and Hajime will run away from a lost fight.
Oh, man.
3 kills to 2, or 3 kills to 1 in favor of Lotus Black.
So the nice part about this, about how many Mountain Dragons they've stacked up here, is that champions that would normally be falling off at this stage, like, you look at the Lee Sin in particular, normally you'd be trying to build tank items now to stay relevant, but with the game he's had, and with them stacking up all these resistances from the Dragons, he can actually just continue building into more bruiser items, into more damage, and he's just fine, right? I mean, they're that far ahead at this stage. They're going to take the Baron, and there will be no contest over that objective. And then they're going to take even more from off of this top lane and maybe try to end the game off this Baron power play.
I mean, that would be the idea here. They're going to try to be able to do what they can. Hajime is in the area to try to be able to deny some of these backs, maybe, for Morpheus. Nope, going to be just fine. Going to be able to pick up that red buff, and she is starting to deal the damage. Morpheus, LDN, 6, 3, and 5 as a ton of gold. Now picks up another BF sword out of that back. Small consolation prize coming to come in for Degenerates as they pick up the mid-tier 1 tower. But like you said, Axeman, I mean, we've got now a 2 minutes and 15 seconds left on this Baron power play for Lotus Black. A ton of structures could potentially be taken here at any moment, but with that being said, what is the defense like for Degenerates? Are they going to be able to keep their base intact moving out of this Baron? They've also got to deal with now a 3-stack Mountain Drake on this, or on these tanky, or not on these tanky, but on just these members of Lotus Black. That's an extra 18% armor and magic resistance that these marksmen are going to have to shred if they want to be able to get these kills. It's rough. But with a minute 30 left on this Baron, Lotus hasn't really gone for a big advantage just yet.
No, they really haven't. We'll see. Yeah, they're going to fight around the spot side.
Yeah, that's 6-ish. Out in the wrong spot. Now the Dark Binding is going to land on to Burn in Hell as well. You're going to have to flash away. The Ace in the Hole is going to get tanked by Hajime, but with 6-ish now down, that will spell doom for this inner turret. And a nice use of that culling to try to deny some minions. Not going to be able to do much of anything else other than that. Going to try to maybe defend the Nexus turret. I don't know if they're going to be able to. It does look like the tower is going to go down, and it will go down. Bullet time going to be used defensively to deny the minions, and now it's going to be Hajime trying to use the thick skin to survive. Nope, it's Common Taco with the boop and the bop and the bat on to this Tom Kench. He goes down. Another turret going to go down as well. The inhibitor falls, and it looks like the Jenga tower will fall in favor of Lotus Black. The final defense is going to be here for Degenerates to try to be able to keep this one alive, but these towers are getting melted away by the almost four item Morpheus. Flash from Six is going to go golden as he ends up going into the Lilting Lullaby. The cleanse is going to come through. Smartpant's going to try to do what he can as Morpheus gets the kill onto Six-ish. The Solar Flare trying to do what he can, but it is not enough. Common Taco will survive, picks up that kill, and that is going to do it. Shout outs to Lotus Black, sweeping the set 3-0 against Degenerates Ascension.
Good stuff there, Moose, and you like to see it. I think most of us who have been watching this series from game one expected this outcome. Lotus Black have been so dominant in this series, but I don't think many of us expected the way that this happened, right? Kamatako kind of having a middling, more supportive style game. Same thing there with Stone Made Soft, but Smart Pants and Morpheus all of a sudden coming out from left field and carrying this game super hard.
Yeah, I mean, this was really good for Lotus Black as a team. I think they performed exceptionally well. Morpheus LDN 7-3 and 8, 249 CS. Stone Made Soft, well, he had a difficult early game, has 13 assists, 20 out of 24 kill participation, 247 CS, performed exceptionally well in these team fights. Looking at the damage, oh my word, 30,000 damage coming in from this Victor, most likely out of those huge team fights that they were able to get. Vision scores looking good across the board for Lotus Black as well. All members of Lotus above 30 in vision score, which is great to see. And a really solid performance coming through, I think, from every member of Lotus Black. Nicely done throughout. And I mean, the set just looked easy for them. That last game, a little bit tough. I mean, there was definitely a chance that Degenerates was able to win the game, but unfortunately, a couple of misplays here and there. I mean, again, we got to kill back over to the jungle. Six-ish falling behind early on with that execute, puts her way behind early on as Lilia. You don't like to see it end up falling apart.
Yeah, and not to reiterate what you just said, but you can't die to blue buff level 1 in a competitive game. I'm sorry. That's just like, you can't win after that. It would have been a miracle. It would have been miraculous if they came back from that play. I'm still not sure. I guess someone said in chat that he tried to do Gromp and blue at the same time and ended up resetting both of them and then kept trying to do blue and they killed him. Yeah, I just start Raptors, man.
Yeah, that's
a rough one.
I mean, there's no other way to put it. It's rough. But at the end of the day, it's a learning experience. You get to go back, look at that replay, hopefully have a better Lilia game next time. I mean, Six-ish didn't perform poorly. I think he performed really well. I mean, comparatively to the other jungler. I mean, you laugh at the execute at the early stages of the game, but I mean, he didn't give up a Rift Herald. They had decent macro play throughout the game, especially at like the 25-minute mark. But still, it's a good game for Lotus Black. The returning champions coming in and showing us why they are so good at League of Legends here in the Light League. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to be back again, I think, for one final interview with one of the winners here in just a moment. Should be a ton of fun, and we'll be right back.